Most men get disrespected by women because they're not respectable. In order for a woman to feel comfortable in her femininity, the man needs to be masculine. They talk about things that they're going to do and they never do it. And then they expect the woman to be something that they aren't themselves. They're like, a lot of men have forgot that they are supposed to be providers, guides, and protectors.
I'm not a woman, but if I was a woman, I'm not opening my door. I'm not paying at a restaurant. I'm not choosing where to go eat. I'm not making the plans for the evening. If I was a woman, I would demand that I be treated like a queen, to be honored, respected, cherished, and valued. I would demand it because my standards would be so high for my life that the only man that could possibly ever think of being with me is a man that is fully in his masculine. And that's when you stop attracting little boys and you start attracting real men, is when you decide that you're worth it.
A lot of men have checked out after dealing with a lot of foolishness from modern women, and they're upset about that.
Pain is passed down from father to son and son to son. A lot of pain in Troy's life is a result of the pain and the damage from his father that he then visits on his son. We have to, as black men, be mindful of that. Sometimes it's unfair, and sometimes we take it out on those we love. And I'm guilty of that frustration that we all have. But we have a responsibility and a duty to be fathers, not to just make babies, but to be real fathers. And you can't expect any good to come to you if you don't visit any good on your son or your daughter. So be a man.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
The shame that men feel when they're rejected by women is precisely the shame that they feel at knowing deep in their heart that they have not lived up to what they are capable of being. And that harsh judgment that women lay on men, which, by the way, is part of our sexual evolution, because we were shaped by sexual selection, which, by the way, is the operation of consciousness on the structures of matter at the most basic possible level. Well, it's a terrible rejection, but it's a salutary rejection. And that process of differentiated choice has shaped us into what we are. That action of consciousness, wanting the best from a potential partner and selecting, at least in part, on that basis.
You know, I'm gonna miss the fans that we have. I mean, the people that get into the granular, like, nitty-gritty of every single choice. You know, it's like when the work goes somewhere and someone appreciates every little tiny piece of it. That's a huge compliment, and it makes you feel like, wow, it's like it's really worth it to be that specific, and that's amazing, you know.
I'm gonna miss having a community of people who the show, people on the show, people work on the show, and the fans who were excited about getting a roadmap about how to be a good person, were ready for an introduction into philosophy, learned how to be kinder, and also still loved fart jokes along the way. Those, to me, are how could you get a better person? Yeah. A kind person who loves fart jokes? Like, sign me up. I want to stay in that community forever.
Yeah, I mean, kindness is a fart joke.
It is, isn't it? Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And when you see men checking out, that's because respect, well, I should say disrespect, has run rampant far too long.
What's the biggest thing you hate about women?
The biggest thing I hate about women is that, you know, that one Billie Eilish quote, she said,
"You give an ugly guy a chance, he thinks he rules the world."
That's it right there.
Okay.
You look at that statement, you see how invalid that is. As a young man coming up, you see how they're just trying to put you down, okay? Now, if the roles were reversed, this would be a cancelable offense for us.
Okay.
You understand that?
Okay.
So I think that, you know, there's double standards, okay? And we have to look at these. We don't let this slide.
Okay.
Pause, okay? We just have to realize that, like, if you're going to say that about us, and you expect us to not say that about you, let's take a step back. Let's look at the situation, all right? Next question.
Right.
You know, a lot of men are noticing that fairness is really one-sided. And at that point in time, if it's always going to go your way, there's no reason for me to be involved or play along with this.
A lot of churches have asked men to come in and act like women. And so we tell men, all right, here's what it means to be a Christian, okay? We just want you to come in, be quiet, be nice. We're going to sing some prom songs to Jesus. We're going to sit in circles, talk about our feeling. Here's a robe. I don't think I would do that either, bro. This is why at this church we call men to act like men. We're saved, not soft. Let me put it on the bottom shelf, okay? Gentlemen, you do not have to check your testicles at the door in order to follow after Jesus. In fact, those were his idea too. You got to grow a pair, stand up, and act like men, but the strength that God has given us is not for us. And when men lead and love well, everybody flourishes. Of course, everything God creates, the enemy corrupts, and we've seen all kind of men misuse their masculinity, but that is not what we have been called to.
Why is it okay for a woman to make a video like this, but not men? No one would be laughing if a man was doing this instead of a woman. This man did something nice for you, had your back, thought proactively, and now he's being punished for it. Oh, it's a joke! Why is it whenever a man makes a joke like this, he's called out immediately? Jokes go both ways? No? Okay, then maybe we should be doing that.
What have you noticed about men today and why it's hard for females to find masculine men?
I think what it is men lack traditional masculinity. Men lack direction. They lack ambition. They've almost given up on themselves, and as a byproduct, they've given up on the world. What's the point in me going to the gym? Because women want this, this, and this. They've been brainwashed, I think, by social media, by just toxicity online, that they have no ambition left. They can't be bothered going to the gym. They can't be bothered making money. They can't be bothered looking after their finances or their lifestyle or their clothing sense, whatever it is, because they look at it and think, well, what's the point? Because women only want a guy that's 6'5" and this, that, and the other. And I just don't think that's the truth. I think women just want a man that's ambitious, a man that has potential, a man that can clearly show that he can look after them, provide her with security and safety, and maybe a bit of humor every now and then, a bit of fun, a bit of life in them. I think that's what they lack. They just lack that life. They're so dull. They're like a dim light.
Seems like for these modern women, they can do whatever they want. Same rules the rules that I'm putting on you, they're not going to apply to me. And modern women have gotten bold about this and said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
It will never cease to amaze me the lengths that some will go to try to justify their own bigotry. I mean, unfortunately, it is true that it usually is men that commit the most crimes. However, that is a very small percentage of the population. But a lot of individuals, specifically women like some I could mention, like to leave that part out. But they also like to skip over the fact that women are the most likely to commit child abuse. I wonder why they leave that one out. Oh, they'll probably find a way to try to blame men for that one as well. But if anyone is curious as to how long of a message this person left in my comment section, here's a little preview. I really hope they feel better after saying all of that and trying to say disparaging things about me as well. But no, dearie, I don't do things for male validation. And more importantly, I'm not married nor looking to be in a relationship. So that idea that I want to be picked by a man really doesn't hold any water, now does it?
A lot of these modern women want a man to open up. They want a man to be his true, open self. But you don't really give a man space to land. And so I'm not going to be opening up if you're not really a safe person to be around.
I've been crying on and off for a little bit now, and I want to be a mom so bad. Like, I want to be turning 40 this year, and everything's just hitting me right now. It's like, not where I wanted to be. I haven't succeeded at anything.
Thing that my mom likes to rub in my face and remind me that I don't have and that I'm getting old, and she's concerned just adds to my own anxiety and my own concerns, and I don't need it. So I'm getting kind of desperate. What the do I do?
Give up on trying to find somebody that actually wants to be with me.
I thought it was going to explode and take out the whole valley. Like, no wonder men are so proud of having a grip on this emotion. I swear, men's emotions are so much more intense than ours. And you just don't trust them. Keep a grip on them. So, yes, this is know thyself. Know thyself, know what switches you involuntarily, know what you're affected by, know where your happy place is. You know, in anywhere on this is normal. Anywhere. There's no right or wrong place to be. There's not even a right or wrong state of mind. But it's one of the things we teach in our Understanding Women course. Like, how do you tell which woman this is? Is this the open, nurturing, loving state of mind woman? Or is this the kick take names state of mind? And you can actually tell by how a woman reacts when you walk into the room. If she looks up and how she looks up. Yes, honey? Where's the milk? Oh, hear that one? You can even tell the way she walks across a room. Who she is.
Yeah.
When we're committed state of mind, it is all forward energy. And when we're in an open state of mind, all of a sudden the hips go.
Modern women, if you really get your head right, you'll understand that you can be a man's greatest weakness or a man's greatest strength. A lot of y'all right now are the reason, a major reason that a man is unmotivated. And obviously he's got to, motivate himself and, at the end of the day, do his own thing. But he don't need people fighting against him that say they're supposed to be on his team.
Let me tell y'all something. One thing a man gonna do, and I mean a no good man, is choose what's best for him every single time. He don't care about your feelings. He don't care how much you cry. He don't care how loyal you been. He gonna meet up with that other girl. He gonna come back like nothing ever happened. And if you let him, he gonna keep doing it over and over again. And the crazy part is, he gonna lie straight to your face and act like you crazy for even asking. That's how a no good man operates. He moves how he wants to move and expects you to deal with it. At some point, it ain't even about him doing it no more. It's about you allowing it. Because a man who truly loves you, you wouldn't have to question nothing. You wouldn't have to beg for no respect. Baby, stop waiting for him to change and start choosing you like he's choosing himself every single time. Okay? Good morning.
A lot of these modern women be like, oh man, I need to go find myself. I need to go figure out who I am. I need to be free. Thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. But as we know, these modern women out here regretting leaving the good man. Oh, I shouldn't have left. Oh man, I said he was an alpha. He was more of an alpha than you, and he was more of a man than you. And now I realize that all he really wanted me for was to run through me and then put me back out on the street. Will you take me back? No. I called your family, and now your family's blowing up your phone. They want you to take me back. No.
What's the difference between a nice guy and a good man?
A nice guy gets along. They don't necessarily have discernment or judgment, not sure what they stand for or stand against. A good man has ideals that they stand for and they'll stand against, and when they're tested, a good man is not a nice guy. Being a good man's a lot harder for good reason. You're not going to be most popular, not going to be always most affable. It also doesn't mean you got to be a or it just means sometimes you got to go, I believe in this is for me, and that is not for me. And because that is not for me, if you do trespass into my space upon me and my family, I will do my best to cause consequences. And I'm going to let you know that. I hope that's apparent, because I'm not going to intrude on you. But if you trespass that, I'm going to stand up for it. And that we can talk our way out of that. Great. Doesn't always work that way. And a good man's not looking for trouble. But if it comes, and if he or something he cares about unless we're susceptible being trespassed on by trouble, a good man does what he can to do to stop that.
A lot of these modern women are going to have to understand that you're going to have to start taking some sort of accountability and facing some sort of consequence for your actions, right? A lot of these modern women get out here and they want to cut up. They want to act crazy. They want to do their thing, want to act silly. But then when the consequences come around, which by the way, whenever that happens, a man in a lot of these situations has to be accountable for the things that he's doing. But a woman, you hear from her, I'm just a girl. I didn't even know. I thought that, this would, I don't know what happened. But can you fix it as the man? No, I'm not going to continue to fix your problems. At some point in time, this is what men are looking for. At some point in time, I want you to see the error of your ways. Nobody is perfect. That much is true. But I want you to stop behaving in this pattern consistently, where you continue to put me in a bad spot. And I got to deal with your consequences because you were acting stupid. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but you went out there and ran your mouth. And now you want me to fight this guy. This guy's 6'3", 250. And you want me to go over there and get knocked out, get knocked over a bar, get knocked into an alcohol shelf or something like that. You want me to go out, man? Come on, Doc.
I want everybody to take a wild guess how many drinks I paid for tonight. 0 drinks. Does anybody want to take a guess as to how many guys asked for my number? 3. The answer is 3. How many guys asked to come home with me? 2. The answer is 2. How many was I interested in talking to? 0. Why? Because I want to talk to the guy that left me on red. I am uninterested. We literally just went through this situation, and I haven't learned my lesson. I want the ones that don't want me. This is definitely an attachment problem. I have an anxious attachment with the ones that don't want me, and an avoidant attachment with the ones that do. I want guys to want me, I just don't want them all the time. I want obsession, but I need space. But not too much space. I'll take some breadcrumbs.
This is exactly why so many men are done with going out to the bar scene and buying women drinks. Because they will accept, they will lead you on. In person, you will think that she's very interested in you, but in reality, she has 0 interest. And that gets frustrating because men are continuously used. My theory, by the way, is that this has 0 to do with attachment style, and it has everything to do with being attracted to somebody that is more attractive than you. And that person, unfortunately for you, has other options. He is looking for a very attractive woman. The problem with this is that then, because of those breadcrumbs that he's giving her, because he has lots of options and lots of breadcrumbs available, she will think that she has a real chance at getting into a serious long-term relationship with that type of man. That is obviously not what happens. This just continues until she either figures it out that she's reaching a little bit too far, or she starts blaming men in general and saying, what is wrong with all these men out there? Why can't I find a good one? And in that case, she will just have to stay happy with her cats.
A lot of these modern women refuse to go 50-50. They refuse. I was listening to Stephen A. The other day, and I think he was doing an interview with him. I want to say Shannon Sharp. And he was talking about all of the things that he brought to the table. And he was like, man, if I'm walking in and I'm having to cook, after all of the things that I bring to the table, I'll take you out to eat. I'll take you out to eat. I'll take you and eat, start a listing off the things that, I'll do that for you. But if I have to come in after doing all of that and cook, what do I need you for? And that's the thing a lot of men are asking. You don't have any money. I'm still going to ask the same question. If I have to go out there and bust my band, because the work's going to be the same. The work is going to be the same. I have to go out there. I might not get paid as much as Stephen A. But I put in a lot. I might even put a lot more effort than Stephen A. He might be working in terms of mental. I might be working in terms of physical. The work that I do takes a physical toll on my body. And so if I'm putting my body on the line, he puts his mind on the line or whatever. If we're doing that, but in different ways, we're going to ask the same question. Because the sacrifice is going to be the same. The mental effort the physical effort is going to be similar. And so I'm going to arrive as a man at the same conclusion. And that's going to be, what is it that you're bringing to the table? I'm telling you, they don't understand. You're going to run into that same question at every level. And the only difference between a man that you think is a lower level and the man that you think is a higher level is that man's going to sit there and look at you. Did I stutter? No.
When a man stops explaining himself, that's not always peace. Sometimes that's the warning sign. Because before he went quiet, he probably tried to talk to you. He probably tried to say what bothered him. He probably tried to fix it. But after a while, if he feels like nothing is changing, he'll stop explaining. He'll stop asking. He stops trying to prove his point. And then you're going to think he's being cold, being rude as f***. But really? He's tired. He's tired of feeling like his words don't matter. And once a man gets tired of explaining himself, he start making peace with just walking away from your ass. So if you notice that about your man, and you notice that your man is not explaining himself no more, just pretty much detaching himself from you, take that as a warning.
When a man is both masculine, which is his drive, his vision, his desire to see and to create something different, but also he's in his feminine and he's able to soften and receive, he's able to accept and he's able to flow, that man is unstoppable. He no longer lives a life where in his mind he has to go out and provide. Providing and being and loving his family is simply who and what he is. He is tapped in spiritually. He is tapped in energetically. He no longer has to work nearly 1/10 as hard as another man because he simply draws into his life whatever it is that he needs in order for him and his family to live the life of their dreams. And every single man that is alive today can tap into that power. All he has to do is have courage. The courage to remember who he really is, return to his heart, and balance both of his energies. The courage to let go of the need to control, let go of the need to dominate, let go of the need for external power and validation, and drop into the frequency of love, because love is the energy of abundance. And when a man is both masculine and feminine, the truth is he is no longer neither, because he's no longer separated by two, and he drops into living from his power. And that man can provide for the world the doorway to healing, safety, and true abundance.
I think dating coaches suck, but I also understand that since, back to what we were discussing before, women don't like to hear the truth and they want it from a palatable presentation. Women sometimes can get through to women better than I can, right? And these women standing here saying, POV, we're hot and no men approach us. This is a symptom of modern feminism, okay? The reason why men aren't approaching these women is because women have become insufferable, rude, low IQ, rambunctious, masculine, crass headaches, okay?
Facts over feelings. It only looks like always a man because you don't hold the other side accountable. 5 reasons why it sounds like that. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But if I'm right, you've seen this before. 1, when a man messes up, it gets called out, loud, public, and clear. But when a woman does the same thing, it gets explained. She's emotional. She's hurt. Same behavior, different accountability. Number 2, when a woman crosses a line, she didn't mean it like that. When a man crosses that same line, it becomes his character. One gets corrected, the other gets protected. 3, men deal with things quietly. They're not running online explaining everything. They're not trying to expose everything. So what you're seeing is not the full picture. It's just the louder side. 4, when he does it, it's toxic. When she does it, it's trauma. Same action, different label, different consequence. 5, let's be honest. You know women you don't trust around your man. You know the ones who would cross the line. And if you have a son, you know women you would never, ever want around him. Women who manipulate, lack discipline, who come into people's lives to cause confusion and destroy. But when it's time for accountability, you forget they exist. And that's how it becomes always a man.
4 reasons why this type of guy doesn't approach women anymore. Let's get into it. They don't play games. This type of guy is very direct, not into playing mind games, or deal with women who are playing hard to get, not into wasting their time. But 2, social media, dating game has become more shallow and superficial. This type of guy likes depth. Number 3, this type of guy doesn't like surface level conversation. He likes to have an intellectual exchange. Not too much of that going on today. Number 4, the way women date and approach relationships today completely turns this guy off. This guy is looking for a unicorn and he is not willing to settle until he finds it.
If she has daughters, they're gonna end up exactly like her. Trust, fucking ran through, and just for the streets there, trust, bad decisions after fucking bad decisions. Stay woke in the streets there, big burn.
So you're 23 and you're opting out of dating because women all hate men and it's impossible to find a good woman. And when I ask you, well, where have you been looking for women? You say Tinder, or the bar, or the club. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Have you thought about like maybe attending a church, right? Somewhere maybe a more morally strong woman might go to, with, values that you might concur with. Well, I've thought about it, but I don't want to wait until marriage to have. Okay, then opt out of dating. I don't give a shit. Bro, are you genuine? All you guys in my comments are like, I tried all the dating apps. But
It's too many good brothers out here that say they're single because they can't find a good woman. And I don't believe that for a second. I believe that brothers that want love sometimes are not seeing things they need to see, and they're not asking the questions that needs to be asked. Like, you want to go out on a date and you want to ask her questions like, what's your favorite color, and where have you traveled to, and where'd you go to school? None of those questions have any relevance as to what kind of woman this is going to be to raise your children. What you need to be asking are questions like, how do you feel about breastfeeding? How do you feel about homeschooling? How do you feel about vaccines? What you need to be doing is observing how she treats others, observing how she treats you. Is she cold? Is she gossipy? Is she rude? Those are going to be clear indicators on the kind of woman that she wants to be. If you want sweet, feminine, loving wives, it's very important to pay attention and date with intention. Don't just date a woman because she look good on paper. You need to focus on, is she good as a woman?
Goodness freaking gracious. I don't know what I have to tell males, the average American male, to get them to understand that you're not a millionaire. You're not above average. And it's okay to be average, but stop pretending like you're above average and that a woman would marry you just to divorce you to get your little bit of money. You work at Walmart. You work in a distribution center. You work in the warehouse. You wear those fluorescent vests. You have no property in your name. You don't own a home. You don't have any real estate in your name. Your grandfather did not pass down an inheritance to you. I really be confused on what y'all think women are going to get from y'all by divorcing y'all. You're not a millionaire. You probably won't ever be. And that's okay. But stop being delusional by thinking that women will divorce you just for they'll marry you to divorce you for your money. That pocket change, Come on.
I genuinely believe that you're sincere in asking me where I've tried to meet men before deciding to use a matchmaking service. My congregation is suburban and full of families. The gym, I go to the gym, I work out, I go home. I do not interact with any men that I see there because, again, it's also quite suburban, and I'm going to assume a lot of them are married. The store. What store? I'm not walking up to any strange man in a store. I don't care how good looking he is. My dog agrees. My dog agrees. Anyway, I hope that I'm going to have a good result with the matchmaker and smash that follow button if you want to hear how it goes.
I came across the best video the other day where a male content creator had listed out his requirements for a wife. Here we go. She must be a word that rhymes with sturgeon. She has to be under 5'4". She has to weigh 120 pounds or less. She has to be a C cup or better, have a hip-waist ratio of 0.7. She has to cook well, keep the house spotless, have low iron levels, no male friends, but must have a good relationship with her father, under the age of 25, and finally submissive to him. And something tells me he will have to travel back to the Victorian era to find this paragon of virtue. The absolute best part of it, though, is the low iron levels. I mean, that's great. Doesn't anyone want an anemic wife who is prone to fainting spells? I mean, that's romantic. And who wants to tell them? Low iron levels means low energy, which means that your home, buddy, it's not going to be spotless. Your baseboards, sweet sir, are going to stay dusty.
You're my homeboy, but you're still a man, so there are things that I expect from you, even though we're not in a romantic relationship. Let's get to it.
Uh-huh. Well, what do the entitled feel entitled to today based on someone's gender?
Number one, if you are in the car with me while I'm getting gas, you are pumping my gas. I don't know why that one's controversial.
Maybe because most reasonable people actually understand that it's the owner of the vehicle's responsibility to take care of and maintain their property.
I also expect you to put me on the correct side of the sidewalk. Do you want me to turn off? Exactly!
So, there are women out there that are expecting gentlemen to have proper manners, but yet a lot of women seem to be lacking in that very thing. How ironic.
Number 3, you are the DDH, designated door holder. Why would I be opening the door? You are a man.
Ever notice that a lot of women that make these types of videos and tend to agree with these types of videos only believe in traditional gender roles when it comes to the man's responsibilities? I find that odd.
I don't expect you to cover anything financially, and I don't expect you to carry my bags if we go shopping, although that one pains me and it took a lot of growth.
I'm sure that it did. And sadly, there's a lot of women out there that are still in need of a great deal more personal growth. And not to mention the fact that they actually need to learn the definition of equality.
What are we supposed to do about lots of girls saying they don't want to be approached at all in public? First of all, I think you meant to say women, but we'll let that one slide for now. And I don't know who all these women are, because the vast majority, if not every single woman I've spoken with, wants to be approached in public again, opposed to just relying on online dating. The key is that you as a man have to have more attentiveness to the nuances of the situation, right? It all depends on when you do it and then how you do it. So first of all, when? Never, 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 never approach a woman when she's working out. Just let her work out. Never approach a woman when she's in a potentially vulnerable situation, i.e. at night, walking to her car, taking public transit, and also when she's like very clearly in a rush. I think that goes for both genders. It's just common courtesy. And then secondly, how? Be respectful. Say, hi, excuse me, give them a compliment, ask for the time, start some small talk, whatever. And then if/when they say they're not interested in you or show it very clearly with their body language, back off. Don't push it. No one's going to get mad at you for respectfully approaching a stranger in public and then leaving them alone when they want to be left alone. That's fine. No one's going to cancel you or whatever for that. The problem is some men don't seem to understand this. And if you can't get it through your head that you have to be respectful and a little bit more aware of what's going on before approaching a woman in public, then I can't help you because you have brain damage, most likely from playing football.
If you love a man who hates himself, he will make you hate yourself, but not all at once. That would be too obvious, too easy to run from. He does it in a way that feels like your idea, like you're the one becoming smaller, more understanding, more patient. He won't walk in with a sign that says, I'm going to be the thing that breaks you. He'll walk in charming enough, just self-aware enough to admit he's a little messed up, and you'll think you can handle it because you've been through things too. But what he doesn't say is he doesn't just hate himself. He believes deeply, very, very deeply, that anyone who loves him must be stupid or weak or lying. And that is when it starts. He doesn't trust you not because of what you've done, but because he doesn't trust anything good. So he'll question you, test you, pull away, come back, then pull away again. He'll make you believe you need to start working to prove you're different, you're real, you're not going anywhere. So you start over-explaining, over-giving, overstaying, and he lets you. Because it feeds something in him to watch you try that hard. And no matter how much you give, it will never be enough. Because the problem isn't that he can't find love. It's that he rejects it the second it is real. When someone hates themselves, they will not believe your love is something safe. They will see it as a threat. And a man will never change if he can convince you that you are the problem. So he does. He teaches you to question everything. Your body, your reactions, your worth, until you start apologizing for things you don't even understand. But he will never tell you to hate yourself. He will just create an environment where that's the only conclusion that's left. So you make yourself small, accept apologies without change, and bite your tongue so many times it'll start to scar. You will call it love, but love it is not. It's you learning how to see yourself the way he already does. And that's how it ends. You don't just lose him. You lose the ability to look in the mirror without picking yourself apart. That's what loving a man who hates himself does. It doesn't just break you. It teaches you how to do it on your own.
And this is just a PSA. There are still men out there that are gentlemen. There are still men out there that are sweethearts. There are still men out there that want to be the providers. There are still men out there that want to be the safe place for a woman to land. There are still men out there that are masculine, but in a safe way. They're masculine in a way that they want to make their woman feel safe, that she can be herself, that she can, in fact, rely on him, that he won't leave her broken or abandoned on the streets for someone else to pick her up and maybe do her wrong too. There are still safe men out there. There are still lovable men out there. There are still good men out there. And just because you came in contact with the very few that are not, doesn't mean that there aren't any good men out there. I know society is teaching women that they can't rely on a man. I know society is teaching women that men just hold them back and that men just keep them from doing the things that they want to do. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes there are men out there that really have that mentality that they can do more than a woman and will hold them down, and a woman can't do anything without them. There are still men out there. But sister, there are men out there that will leave you speechless, that will show you a love so undeniably true that it will leave you beguiled. Don't give up hope. Stay the course. Work on you, love you, and the beautiful things will come to pass. They really will. Don't lose that faith. There are still good men out there.
You got a moment? Good. Being wife-minded means that we must communicate effectively, listen actively, express our feelings, and make sure that we are being honest about it and we articulate our needs very, very clearly. This is very important. Communication builds trust and connection, and we need this in our relationships. The first point I want to make is when I say listen actively, this means that it goes beyond just what you're hearing about your person. It is you being fully present and engaged. This means you got to put away your phone, okay? Eye contact is very important. There does not need to be any distractions in that place. You owe them your undivided attention. Number 2, express your feelings honestly. Honest expression requires vulnerability, and that's just the truth, but it builds trust and connection. And so what you want to do is you want to use I statements and frame your emotions to avoid pointing that finger. So you want to say, for example, I feel hurt when you, versus you always make me feel. You see where I'm going with that? third, articulate your needs very clearly. Be clear about your needs. It really helps your partner to support you and understand you even better. You gotta be direct and respectful. And so when I'm saying that, you wanna avoid hinting or expecting your partner to guess what you need. Yeah, not mind readers, okay? So say, I need some alone time, right? So instead of, you should know when I need space. No, they don't. The last thing that I want to give you before I'm out of here is practice patience. It's so very important. These skills will require time to develop. Be patient with yourself and with your partner as you both do what? Grow. Why? Because you're watering them, they're watering you, and you're growing together. You owe it to yourself. So papers do, honey.
And the thing about divorce, it really, and honestly, truly, in any situation, it's going to be, in a lot of situations, it's going to be rough. Now you're taking, even with two people coming to the table and wanting it to be an amicable split, you're taking that and magnifying it times like 1,000 with modern women. They don't want the split to be amicable. They want the split to be you suffering, you going through it, you having a terrible time, you struggling all for the rest of your life. That's what they're looking for. They want a man to be so down low, to struggle, to have a terrible time. That's what modern women are looking for when they say commitment. You struggle because you're the man. You have a terrible time because you're the man. It's you. Now see, that's what Kevin Samuels was saying. Y'all looking for a man to just hop up and run downstairs when something goes bump in the night. You do it. You're the man. But when the man comes back and says, thank God there was nothing down there, I'm going back to bed. You got to feed this baby. Well, I was downstairs making sure that the house was secure. You can feed the baby. Oh, well, you a deadbeat dad. I'm a single mother. You see how that works? All of a sudden now I'm not contributing. All of a sudden now I'm trash. All of a sudden now I'm not a good man. Because I did my job. Well, there wasn't nothing down there. There wasn't nothing down there right now. Let's say for the sake of argument, there was something down there. Now I gotta fight off every criminal, whoever it is, whatever tools I use, I gotta fight them off. And then you want me to come upstairs. Okay, now feed the baby, change the baby's diaper. I'm going back. I'm going to bed. I'm going back to sleep. They want you to do all the work. You take care of the kids. You make sure the house is clean. You make sure the dinner's cooked. You make sure the kids, their homework is done. Make sure their doctors, all that stuff. And do it the way that I tell you to do it. I'm your manager now. Look at me. I'm the captain now. That's what they're looking for. I'm looking to do nothing. I'm not even going to be a good captain. I just said I'm the captain. That's how modern women